New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Roy Castle joins us coming up from his basement studio dungeon. Once again, we will sit and spin today from Rolling Stone, 10 worst songs of the 70s.
Oh, boy.
Kind of hard to narrow that down. They did it. So we've got 10 lowers coming up for you with Sit and Spin. Our question, what trait of yours would you not want to pass down? Or what trait was definitely passed down to you? 206-421-ROCK.
Just a couple of quick comments. It says, I'm colorblind. I got it from my mom. This is honestly a daily issue. Even I Spy is hard. And many card or board games with colors are very hard.
Okay, I got a question. I've seen numerous videos of people who could see color for the first time.
Right, those glasses they put on.
Yeah, I'm just curious what the difference is between someone being able to wear those and them work and then you still being colorblind. Or are they 10 grand?
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much they cost. My understanding is that if you're colorblind, and you wouldn't necessarily know it if you're colorblind, but a lot of the color you see is like different hues of gray and a lot of like sepia tones. So you're playing Uno and it's like darker brown. You know, light brown or stuff like that. That's how it's been explained to me. I don't know. And then someone else says, I have OCD, which is something that can be passed down. Now, it's something that definitely puts a damper on my life. The biggest issue is a lot of people assume OCD is just being a clean freak or being scared of germs, but there are many, many levels to it.
Yes, there are.
Looks like colorblind glasses are ranging anywhere between $100 to $500 just from what I'm seeing here. Obviously, they range in just how effective they are, how long they last. I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm pulling up.
It's like in blue blockers. You can see the fish in the water.
Who's it? The tack glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the big one right now.
Bell and Howell. That's what it is.
Or you can get that tack visor.
Have you seen the tack? Oh, what is the new tack flashlight? It's the size of a pen, and there's a safety device you can smash out a window if you find yourself in trouble.
It also says the glasses do work, but not for everybody. In a 2017 study, adults with red-green color blindness, the glasses only led to significant improvement in 2 of those.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better than none.
What trait of yours would you not want to pass down, or what trait was definitely passed down to you?
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hola. So, turned 60 this year, but I have had bronchial asthma for 42 years.
Now, what is the difference between bronchial asthma and asthma?
It's pretty much the same.
Okay.
It's just an extra word thrown in there.
Okay. What are the hardest times of the year for you?
Cold air affects it negatively. So this time of year, if it gets really chilly in the morning, I got to be careful with what I do. The bad part is, for the first 18 years of my life, I was always an athlete, and I literally had to take 2 years off after graduating high school just so they could stabilize it, and then I could start to work with it after that. And this is, 42 years ago, they were using this drug called theophylline, which literally was like taking an 8-ball.
Also, as a bronchodilator.
Right.
Oh, God. I literally had a doctor's note that I gave to my college teachers that excused me from taking an essay test because I could not write. My hands were that shaky.
Wow,
Jesus. Man. Did you ever take ephedrine?
I don't believe so. I may have years ago. I really... Right now I'm on albuterol and another inhaler called Alvesco, which is topical steroid for your bronchial tubes.
Okay.
Jeez. So what would happen if you missed a day of medication? If you said, you know what, for 24 hours I'm not taking my crap, what happens?
Not good stuff. I'd get tight, wheezy. I'm overtaking it now during COVID because I'm scared essless about getting it.
Shouldn't you be on the list?
I'm actually.
You're 60 years old. You have asthma issues.
I'll be on phase 2.
Okay.
Because it seems like you're a prime candidate. You know my world.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, what about when...
he agrees.
What about when traveling? Have you been anywhere where the air just, like you said you don't like the cold. So I'm assuming you're not going to vacation in Alaska.
No, not at all. No, we did make one trip down in November to California to bury my mom.
And were you fine down there?
Yeah.
Physically.
Ironically enough, we buried her next to my dad.
No. Wait. I'm saying as far as you breathing.
Oh, yeah, no, it was fine. Where we were at, it was November 2nd, and it was 81 degrees.
All right.
So, it was with my sisters and everything worked out okay.
Okay.
But,
so mentally you're beat up, but physically I feel great.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Look, like you ever been someplace, somebody get my hair is great here.
God, everywhere. If there's any humidity.
Hair is amazing.
Look what it does to my hair.
Oh, it curls up a little bit, just a little bit of a wave to it.
The amazing thing is I have to lie because it's always, God, this thing is doing great things to my hair. And I'm looking like, hey, I got news for you. No one can tell.
Salt
I'm
water?
sure it is. I can't tell.
About time something did.
Exactly.
Because you hate it all the time.
Right.
A couple of comments. We were talking about the sperm banks earlier, right? Someone here says, I've sired 13 kids, 11 donors, 2 of my own.
Huh.
Wow, that is putting
Like, okay, are you really good looking? Are you a doctor?
What is it?
Like,
what was it about you that made you a prime candidate where the 11 people have agreed hey,
exactly.
All right, this is the guy.
College educated, I'm assuming?
Someone else says, what was passed down to me, I don't want to pass down, so I never had kids. Diabetes type 1. Then it ends with, stay healthy birches. I assume they mean bitches.
So does that mean if you have type 1, you'd pass it down?
I believe, actually, there's type 1 and type 2. And I believe type 1 you pass down. Type 2 is diet related. I believe that's the case.
Right, type 1 you're born with.
Okay.
Type 2 you develop.
So, like when Lady Gaga sings Born This Way, she's singing about type 1.
She's insulin dependent.
That's right. No type 2 for her, man.
Exactly.
I think both of them can be passed down a little bit, but type 2 is definitely diet and lifestyle.
Okay. Someone else says, addiction with me. Familial, oh boy, why do you put these words in? Cholesterol, God damn it. Hypercholesterolemia in my wife. Her cholesterol was over 500 at age 10, so they say, yeah, no kids for us. Now, I know you don't want high cholesterol. Do either of you guys know, like, what's average?
I don't know.
Cholesterol?
I have no problem with that. It's one of those things that
if the doctor hasn't told you, you don't know, right? They say cholesterol's fine, so they never give you a number.
Blood pressure's fine. Cholesterol's fine.
500 does not sound good, and 500 at age 10, definitely. But because of that, because of addiction and the cholesterol issue, they have agreed to not have kids, just to not pass it down. I can think of a million reasons you wouldn't want kids. I feel like that would just suck. Like, well, I'm not against the idea of having kids. I don't want my kids to have what I've got.
Right.
You know?
Who do you think, based on genetics, okay,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think would you pick if you had to? All right.
What, in this room?
No, just in general. Okay, so look.
I'm looking for a sperm donor.
We just had a story the other day where Ralph Macchio, they said, how do you look so young? What do you turn, like 60?
59.
59.
Mm-hmm.
How do you look so young? He's like, man, it's just lucky genetics. Mom's younger looking. Dad's younger looking.
Sure.
I do lead a healthy lifestyle, but
I mean, that
for the
helps,
most part,
obviously.
I'm gonna
You know why he leads a healthy life? Because he's got
props.
something to protect.
So
if you look like crap, he'd be like, dude, I eat fried chicken every day. But the fact that he still looks young is probably like, you know what, this works in my interest to stay healthy, right?
So based on age and looking young. Would you go
Rob Lowe? If it's based purely on how old you've gotten, but how you appear to people, because like George Clooney looks his age. George Clooney looks fantastic, but he looks his age. Rob Lowe, if you just say, look, you're 140 freaking years old, but you look like you're 40, I'm picking Rob Lowe, and believe it or not, the other option, more extreme, but it'd have been Dick Clark. Dick Clark only got old and died because he told us, hey, I'm getting older and I'm going to die. But to look at him, dude looked youthful.
And we don't know any of their medical conditions, right?
You don't know
Rob
anything.
Lowe might be on high blood pressure meds. We don't know.
But look, my kid might be remarkably unhealthy, but they just look spectacular. I'd pick Rob Lowe. Although, no, according to Rob Lowe, he's doing the Atkins diet. I just saw the commercial.
How about if you wanted? How about if you needed eggs?
Like, you mean what? As far as what you're going to look like?
No, the mother of your child.
Right.
Who you take based on looks and aging in this one category.
See, this is the problem because in this case, I mean, well, to be fair, because I had sex with my wife.
Look, Dolly Parton looks good. I mean, she's older. You know, she's too old to be a mom.
Okay, no, but here's the difference. So Dolly Parton, she looks good, but a lot of work has gone into it. You know, like you have refurbished your house, like you've repainted the house, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not genetic. That is money being spent to look a certain way because of your job. I get it. But as far as, I mean, hell, you can say someone like Jennifer Aniston. You know what I mean? She's about our age, 50 years old?
But we haven't seen her age completely. Have we? Yeah, I guess
she's
so.
Our age, bro. Look, all
right, yeah.
We are fighting a good fight. She's 50 years old.
I think
by most people's standards, she's doing fine.
I think I'm taking Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Ooh, Jane Seymour. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That is
solid.
That is strong.
As far as someone who still looks.
So, what do you think would happen if, say, like Jane Seymour and Rob Lowe had sex, or if you put their eggs and their sperm together?
Amazing.
That kid would never age. They might be ugly, but they're never going to look.
What about your body? All right.
Oh, body type.
So okay, so I'm a woman.
All right.
Do I get the breasts of my mother? Do I get the butt of my What for an example,
what side of the family does that come
I don't
from?
have any boys, but wouldn't it be weird if the penis came from the mom's side?
It would be.
I don't know if it does.
No idea.
But it could.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an awkward question.
Like, what if you were to say, I want, how big is this guy's penis, right? I
don't care for my kid. That's it. Look, I want my penis. My son, like, hey, bro, that's your
What I'm saying is,
that's on you.
Let's say you're doing well for yourself, or whatever the deal is. Or you just want a kid with a huge crank.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Would that even...
Manute Bol. I mean, look.
Would that translate?
Manute Bol's not a good-looking guy, but, like, son, look, I know you're kind of ugly, but you know you got a huge crank. I went out of my way and paid Manute Bol $1,000.
So, in other words, does that stuff transfer down to father to son? Or,
or is it a combo?
Mother to daughter. Right, exactly.
You got to think there's a little bit of both, right? So maybe a little bit of the X chromosome, hopefully a little more of the Y. I don't know.
I don't either.
If they said your penis size comes from your mom's side of the family, it would just be distressing.
It would be weird.
It's like, well,
that doesn't make
that's not fair.
Right, exactly. There is a man with a brewery in his belly. A business owner revealed how a rare condition has turned his gut into a personal brewery, meaning that even eating a slice of cake can leave him so drunk he passes out. Nick Carson has auto brewery syndrome, where his body ferments carbohydrates and turns him into alcohol in his intestines, leaving him dangerously intoxicated without him touching a drop of alcohol. So I'm guessing this guy cannot have cake. He cannot have any kind of pizza.
What about
he cannot have any kind of bread.
It's carbohydrates, right?
Look, potato vodka.
Right. So, yeah, probably not potatoes. I mean, think about all the things you can't eat, because he said it's not like you get tipsy. He gets about 3 times the legal limit in about 20 minutes.
That's not fun.
No, it's not fun at all.
I can go from...
in 20 minutes, he gets to the point that everyone sends you home.
Yeah. Goes from being stone cold sober to being 3 times over the driving limit in a matter of minutes. The effect is not pleasant. I have sections of my memory where I have no idea what I've done. I just talk rubbish and walk around in circles.
Because it actually...
he's blacked out drunk.
Yeah, it turns it into alcohol, and it's already in his intestines. So it's already absorbing it. I mean, it's nuts, man.
He says it's like sleepwalking with activities. You're not aware of what you're up to, even though you're still functioning and you're doing stuff. One time I tried a small portion of low-fat chips. I became so intoxicated that I laid in the living room. I threw up before eventually passing out within 45 minutes.
That sucks, man.
He first noticed his symptoms in 2003. He was layering a strong flooring solvent on a job at work and went home feeling pretty ill before passing out. His symptoms began to get worse from that point, and he only realized he could have the condition after it was featured on a TV show.
Oh, so he had no idea he was watching Wow.
Yeah. The doctor said the overexposure to the solvent seemed to trigger the reaction. And then when he ate sugary foods and carbs, it added fuel to the fire and then fermented.
Jesus.
So, Victoria sponge cake, he says he can't eat it. There are points where I would have killed for a slice of sponge cake. It's ridiculous. It triggers an appetite reflex in your brain. So every time he eats carbohydrates, he gets drunk.
So you can only eat, like, protein and veggies?
Yeah. I mean, bread's out. Dessert of pretty much any kind's got to be out, right? You want a piece of cake? I'd love to. I can't. I will get effed up.
He says, I'm sort of on a keto diet with lots of vegetables and protein, and I feel much better. Now that I know a lot more about the condition, it's become a little easier to manage. I think we're coping with it well and want to keep the ball rolling. But either way,
that is crazy.
I mean, that just sucks. You can't have carbs and, like, I'm with you. If he was getting a little buzz, that'd be one thing. But
That's sure. I like to be buzzed all the time if I can, but he's getting blackout drunk. Now, we were talking about if you could pick, just based on aging, right? Like they've gotten older, but they still look good. Who would you pick in your world of egg and sperm donors? So people have joined in, and this was almost my first choice before I said Rob Lowe. Someone said John Stamos.
That's a very good
interchangeable. I would say Rob Lowe only because Rob Lowe has a pretty sordid past, too.
And I do like that. I'd like to think, like, hey, right, you do your drugs, do your other questionable things, but it does not take the toll on you like many mugshots of other people. Nicole Kidman, man, I can't tell if she's had work done or not. When she smiles, something about her face gets
Who's
weird.
that?
Nicole Kidman.
I mean, she's naturally beautiful.
She is naturally beautiful, but I'm saying now there's something where it looks like, and very good work done, but I think something's been done. Again, I don't have a problem with that.
I think it looks
but that's
more
not
like
about
Keith
age.
Urban has had more work done than she has.
Oh, I don't think he would make any bones about it. Like, hell yeah, I did.
Right.
Someone else says, Betty White for the eggs. When you consider her age, right? She's what, like
even
80?
Bob Barker. Bob Barker's tall. He's 150 years old.
Mm-hmm. Is she still alive?
Bob Barker?
Yeah, I have no
Pretty
idea.
sure Bob's still alive.
Kira Sedgwick. I don't know. Someone else says Kevin Bacon.
I find her attractive.
Sarah, there's something sexy about her without necessarily being pretty, if you know what I mean. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I find her attractive because, like, on my personal checklist, she doesn't hit any of those, but collectively I look at her like, yeah.
She's one of those people that every time she shows up in a movie or TV, I'm like, oh, yeah, I do like her.
And she's married to Kevin Bacon, right? Because someone else says Kevin Bacon.
Bob Barker's 98.
And he's still around.
He's still alive.
Okay.
He's still alive. He's 97.
The secret is playing tennis.
Wow. Does he still play tennis?
I don't know. There was just a whole movie about when Leno took over for for him, and it's supposed to be Letterman's job, and Letterman calls Johnny, and he's just outside playing tennis, like in all white, and just living the Bob Barker dream you think he is.
Okay.
In Malibu or some crap.
What trait of yours would you not want to pass down, or what trait was definitely passed down to you? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Mary. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. So a trait I don't want to pass down to the kids that I definitely won't have is depression, because my birth mom, since I was adopted, she was in a really bad relationship with my birth dad, really abusive, so she was not happy probably ever. And so that kind of resulted in me not being very happy ever.
But wait, is her depression chemical or is her depression because of relationships?
Correct. Nature or nurture?
I'm pretty sure it was nature, but I'm not very sure. I didn't really get to ask her a whole lot about it. But I'm pretty sure it's kind of chemical for me now, because I've felt this like immense sadness since I could remember.
Do you know why you're sad, Mary?
No, I really don't.
You don't come across that way based on just talking to you.
Well, thank you.
You sound very peppy, you know?
But I thought that's typically, as far as I understand, a lot of people that are depressed, when they present to you, when you put your foot forward, it's generally more upbeat. But, depression's about how you feel internally.
Right, exactly. Right, that's the common misconception.
Right, like you always say with comedians. A lot of they are hilarious. You do an interview, they are hilarious, but kind of in real life, not necessarily depressed, but a lot of times just in a dark place.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You turn to the positive just to make yourself feel better.
Are there triggers? Can you control it? Does it just come on and you just have to deal with it?
Well, there's definitely ways I could get out of like a really deep rut, but it's also hard to motivate yourself to get there because you're kind of starting out with a lot of not a lot of motivation at all.
Sure.
So one thing for me, weed really, really, really helps.
Okay. Does it does it affect you physically? Does it make you tired? Does it make you sleepy? Do you just want to crawl up and go to bed?
Well, like, for me, it's actually really interesting because sativa doesn't really do a lot for me. It kind of just makes me a little happy in the head. But indica, it makes my body just, like, really relaxed. I don't have any anxiety. I have a lot more confidence. It's crazy. And also I work a very laborious job, so that really helps out.
Okay. But there's no definitive triggers that you could avoid.
I guess talking about my childhood would be something I would like to avoid.
So therapy would not always be the best thing. You know what I'm saying? If they want to delve into that aspect of it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still for sure need to see a therapist. I've had a lot of bad doctors in the past, so it's hard for me to get back there, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
Well, and therapy's good, too, because sometimes, especially when you're depressed, there's just things you don't even know are in there.
Right.
And those scars are inside. So talking allows them to come out. Then you can move past them.
Yeah.
I had a therapist and they retired, right?
No.
So did I.
Okay.
You guys, when they were done with you guys, they were like, Jesus Christ.
No. You got to start all over with that same dumb, boring story all over again with somebody
Like
else.
I just said
it's
this
like
to
just
someone.
because they retired, you got to start from square one again. It's like, you know what I mean? Like your teacher retires when you're in 12th grade.
Ooh, you got to repeat your senior year.
Like Candyland, you just get shot down to 7th. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. What trait of yours would you not want to pass down, or what trait was definitely passed down to you? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
Ryan Castle joining us momentarily. Once again, we will sit and spin today from Rolling Stone magazine. We have the 10 worst songs of the 70s, as voted on by the readers of Rolling Stone. Woo! Let's go up after emails on our question. What trait of yours would you not want to pass down, or what trait was definitely passed down to you? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Bill. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I'm an alcoholic, and it was most definitely passed down to me. I've been sober for 29 years now, but the first 40 years of my life were pretty interesting.
Interesting, like culminating in arrest, divorce, that kind of thing?
Both. All the above. Waking up someplace different than where I went to sleep, that kind of thing.
Okay. And what was the final straw?
Well, I drank myself into an alcoholic coma in 1992.
Damn.
And a friend of mine came over to see me. He said, the way he put it was, I knew you're Irish, but you were speaking Lithuanian. Things didn't go well.
Okay. So how did you do it?
Well, I went to a treatment facility over in Yakima, the Sundown Ranch. And then since then, I've been a card-carrying member of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Was it how long? How long did you go in for?
30 days.
How long did it take your body to detox?
About 5 days.
Okay, if you went to the bar now, like we went to the bar, and sure, you can get water and all that. Like, are you okay in that situation, or is the temptation too much?
Oh yeah, there's no temptation whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
When I was in the coma, this sounds crazy, but I could hear him talking about me as if I weren't there. And they sent for my kids who were teenagers at the time, and because they didn't think I was going to make it through the night. And I just had this thought, God help me, and I don't even know what I was asking help for. I didn't care about dying. I just didn't want to die that way.
Sure. Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
when I came out of the coma, I was in this treatment facility. I woke up and it was June 1st. The birds are chirping. Beautiful sunshiny day. I look to my right and there's a blue book that Alcoholics Anonymous has. So that's what it's come to.
Okay, I gotta ask you. So, how long were you in a coma?
About 18 hours.
Okay, so from the moment that you woke up, it was more mental on the 5 days, or what I'm saying is, were you going through detox while you were in a coma, or were you still just kind of drunk?
I was just still kind of drunk. I was, when they got me in there, my blood alcohol content was .42.
Jesus.
And it was about 12 hours after my last drink.
What was your drink of choice?
Canadian whiskey.
Okay.
Damn Canucks, I knew it. Yeah. Sons of bitches. You know, you said when you're in the coma, you could still hear people talking about you. And while I'm never been in a coma, that's the equivalent of visiting my family in Texas. When you walk in, oh, look at baby boy, go get himself another glass of water. Like, you can talk to me, you can talk about me, but it's weird because we're 5 feet away from you.
Yeah, they're doing commentary.
Right, you're not looking at me, but you're talking about me. So it's like being in a coma, except you're wide awake and people could interact. They just choose not to.
Do you do anything else that's addictive? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you?
No.
Do you ever smoke?
I quit smoking about 5 years after I quit drinking.
How about any weed? Could you do that?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
No,
okay.
I take no mood-altering chemicals at all, except for coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, the old tried and true caffeine.
Do you feel much healthier now?
Oh, yeah. I'm 69 years old now. I never would have lived this long.
Okay.
69.
Did you start fishing?
Pardon?
Like, did you start fishing or just, like, pick up a new habit because you weren't hanging out in bars anymore?
I became a gym rat. I'd broken my back a few years before. And I've had a couple back surgeries. I've had cancer 3 times. I've had a lot of different ailments, but the gym seemed to work for me, so I became a gym rat.
You still going?
Well, not now.
Well, yeah, nobody is. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a strong point. Well, it's funny, man.
I stopped lifting. I don't lift weights anymore. I swim now. I'm also type 2 diabetic, which you were talking about earlier.
Can you get out of that if you continue to exercise?
Hard to say. They say that if you can control the diet and exercise, and I swam for 3 years until COVID, and now the lack of exercise, the lack of that swimming is my blood sugar level has increased.
Right.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. It is funny because you say, because you said, look, now that you're not hanging out of bars, have you picked up a habit? And the last 10 months, what new thing do you think you've done personally? Because all of us are bar people, right?
Right.
And we're not doing this out of health reasons and all that, but COVID has shut it the hell down. And I realized with this extra time and money on my hands, I've gotten way back into music. Because I can't sit idly. So I realized I've been recording a ton of music at home, working with this other guy. We go back and forth. And I'm like, this is a direct result of having the time on my hands. And yes, hang out with the kids and all that kind of crap too. But still, that's where I have to focus myself because I can't be at a bar. This thing that I would do, 5 times a week? Yeah, get my normal yayas, and I realized it took me about 2 months. Like, what are you going to do? You're about to lose your mind because they're not opening. We figured out in May. By the way, we knew in May they were not opening this country or this city back up. We're like, not before the end of the year.
It might not even be until this May.
Right, but we're like, we know what they're doing. They're doing the same thing you do as a parent with your kids. Like, well, we're going to look for 4 to 6 weeks because if you tell people this S is over for the year, they're going to lose their mind, right? So we kept saying, as of May, we're not opening this year. And I knew, I've got to find something to do. And trust me, I'm still drinking. There's plenty of beer at the house. But just my idle time, I'm like, you need to go do the thing you love doing. Otherwise, I go crazy.
Mm-hmm. What trait of yours would you not want to pass down, or what trait was definitely passed down to you? 206-421-ROCK.
I mean, I wasn't looking to get into Formula One racing.
And now you're into Formula One racing, right?
But it just got to the point where it's like, there's got to be some sports to watch.
I mean, Miles shoots golf, as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no bar to go. There's no other way to get you other than, like, go do the thing that you love doing.
Dude, I walk like 8 miles a day.
Exactly. Doing that.
I will say, yeah, I took more walks in my neighborhood. I mean, there's parts of my neighborhood I never even knew existed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's kind of weird because they're not that far from my house.
You just,
but right, but you might
take another street,
or you might go to the gym or something. It just was like sometimes on Saturdays, just be like, all right, let's go for a 3-hour walk and see something new.
Because I can't go to the bar. Right?
Yeah,
it's amazing. Hello, Chrissy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi guys.
Hola. Hola.
Hi. So the thing I don't want to pass down to my kids is I was born with a genetic mutation called thalassemia beta type major.
You need to explain that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. It's kind of like the cousin of sickle cell anemia, but it's like being super anemic. Both parents have to have the disease and or the trait. So my mother is Hawaiian, my dad is Bulgarian, and they both had a different trait. There's alpha and beta type. And if you're born with straight alpha type, you're actually stillborn. But if you're born beta type, if you have the major, there's minor, major, and then there's just the trait. I was born with the major, which is like I'm 4'9". I'm supposed to be dark skinned like the rest of my siblings, but I'm not. I actually have red hair and green eyes, and like I'm really, really like pale. I get very, very sick very easily.
You mean sick like a cold, sick like nauseous, what?
Well, if somebody is passing around the common cold, I'll catch it.
All right.
And most people, they have a gestation period of 10 days before they start showing symptoms. I'll start showing symptoms within a couple of days.
How about exposure to the sun?
I do burn, which is funny because, I'm an islander. And
Red-headed islander, yeah.
Yeah, red-headed islander. I'm actually the shortest out of all of my family members. My kids can carry the trait, and it won't affect them. But for the fact that I have major, as I get older, like I'm turning 40 this month, and as I get older, my organs will shut down a lot faster than the average. I age quicker on the inside than I do on the outside. So even though I don't even look 40, I kind of look like I'm in my mid to late 20s.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Keep talking. How old are your organs? So say you're turning 40, how old would your organs be, comparatively speaking?
I'd say probably around 60-ish.
Okay. Jeez,
man. Did you have to get your husband tested before you guys decided to have children to make sure that he didn't carry this gene?
Well, he got tested, and he doesn't carry it. So my kids can carry the trait, obviously, from me. But it's not a very common disease. So
just in Hawaii and Bulgaria?
Yes.
Which makes me just one side question. If you fill out a job application, right, there's all these different ethnicities you can check. Do you just check other?
I check Pacific Islander and Mediterranean.
Can I let me guess, some Bulgarian man went on a vacation to Hawaii one day?
No, my mom was a military brat. Her dad was a staff sergeant at Fort Lewis. And so she grew up out here. And she was born in Honolulu, but she grew up out here.
Okay.
And but you put her right next to me. Facially, we actually look a lot alike. But my mother is very dark skin, jet black hair, and she's got like Polynesian eyes. You know what I mean? Like she is full blown Hawaiian. And then you got me, where I have Polynesian eyes, like I have a small slant, and my hair is monstrously huge. I have big hair, really big hair,
big red hair.
Big red hair.
Did you get a lot of?
I'm not a soulless ginger. I'm talking about red hair, like red, not orange.
Did you get a lot of grief in school, particularly when they saw your parents?
Yeah, not a single person believes that, because they all just thought I was this creepy, pasty little white girl, you know, and then they would come over to my house and they're just like, is that your mom's friend? We also lived in a big house, and they assumed that she was the maid.
Oh, damn. Damn.
And, yeah, this is what happens when you go to one of those...
Tell your maid to cook up more of that spam.
I was like, that's not a maid, that's my mom.
Is your mom a maid?
Like, she's like, what did you say? And I was like, Mommy, they think you're my maid.
She said, I am.
Yeah, basically.
But, yeah, so my mother had 5 children, and out of all 5 of us, I am the only one that has it. So, like, treatments, I just kind of gave up on treatments. It's a form of blood transfusions and an old form called bloodletting. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with what that is.
I mean, I've heard the term, but never in a positive connotation.
Well, see, my body doesn't produce iron cells, and the iron cells that I would consume in, like, white meats and vegetables, my body just doesn't want it. It doesn't take it. It won't accept it. So, like, an example, if I eat a lot of rich foods, like red meat, my body will flush it out. And for somebody like me, I get really, really tired. Like, really easily. I could fall asleep. I could stay asleep for 18 hours and still be tired. And it gets even worse the older I get. And I have children of my own now, you know, and the older I get, the more worn out I feel. But on the outside, I look like I have a 21-year-old daughter. And we don't look like mother and daughter. We look like sisters.
Well, just remember, it's better to look good than to feel good.
Right? But I want to feel good, too.
Oh, they can't have everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but I go through about 5-6 weeks worth of blood transfusions, and then because it's too much iron, I'll get iron poisoning, so they'll do a bloodletting. In the old days, it used to be they'll bloodlet through your temple, through your head, but now it's just a form of like a diffusion. They pull it out from your veins, your arms, what have you.
Good. No one wants to see someone with bloody temples.
No.
And Miles speaks for all of us. Yeah. You sound very low maintenance in day-to-day life. It must sound so easy.
Hope you have great insurance.
Good Lord, man. I mean, good luck to you. Jesus H. Christ.
What trait of yours would you want to pass down, and what trait was definitely passed down to you? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Brett. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Hello, gentlemen. Hope you guys are all having a good day.
Hola. Thank you. We are.
Better than most people that have called, for sure.
Yes.
The one trait I don't want to pass down that I am actually not even 100% sure for how it was passed down to me is hypothyroidism.
Hypo. Not hyper, but hypo?
No, hypo. So mine was shut off.
Your thyroid is shut off?
Yes.
So how does I know your thyroid controls 8 million different things going on with your body. How does it affect you?
Yeah. So growing up, I had a hard time with very active, always in sports and everything, and I kind of started hitting a point where everybody kept growing bigger than me, and I always found myself to be a little lethargic at times, and I started getting these massive headaches, eye stings, having migraines constantly, couldn't figure it out. And then finally, we found out after I was wrongfully diagnosed with having a tumor in my brain at one point, they figured out that my pituitary gland had swelled up. And that's when they found out that my thyroid was shut off. And so my growing hormones weren't working properly, and now I take a medication to do so. But it definitely causes hunger problems. I don't have eating disorder or anything like that, but it definitely makes it difficult. There are days where you just want to eat and eat and eat. And so I definitely have to keep up with activities in order to counterbalance that.
Did you stop growing?
No, I actually still think I am growing. I'm currently 5'10".
And how old are you?
24.
And you're still growing?
Yeah.
So is there a point where they tell you to stop taking the medication so you stop growing? Or, I mean, because I feel like, look, once you hit about 17, 18 years old, other than maybe your waistline, as far as your shoe size, your shirt, your pants, you buy roughly the same size, right, until the day you die. You know, like I said.
But I went from shoe size 12 to now I'm in 14s.
So your penis has gotten bigger, too.
That's the one thing that hasn't grown.
No! I'm begging you. I don't need these big-ass feet.
Man, oh, man.
I can't find shoes.
Because now it's false advertising.
It's so much easier to find Magnum condoms than size 14 Nike.
I do buy Magnum condoms.
Well, that's because they offer them.
Is it because you need them or because you're showing off?
No, I need them.
All right. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't get any bigger, but he really wasn't worried about it.
But he was all right in the first place. I got you. I'd see what he's doing there.
Did we get any good traits?
You mean a good trait to pass down?
I was like my mom gave me her personality and being kind to people.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, that's never where anyone's mind goes.
No.
You know, so it's like, I hope my kid doesn't get so-and-so from me. Like, well, there's got to be something good. I got my mom's brown fat. I hope I can pass the
I think I
brown
got my
fat
mom's
down to
patience.
kids. Maybe. Just a little patience.
Just don't know how long that window is. It keeps getting shorter.
I think it's weird. The older you get, some things your patience expands remarkably, and other things you have zero tolerance for.
Yes.
You know, if you perceive it as just stupid, you just don't have time for it, right? So if I perceive what you've said or what you've done or what you think, it's just dumb. You don't even make time. You don't even argue with the people. You just kind of put the hand on them and go, yeah, suit yourself. Other things, and I realize kids have a lot to do with developing your patience, because things that I did not ever think I would tolerate happening in my home happen 4 times a day, every day. And I'm like, I've discovered patience because they're alive.
Brian Castle joins us from his basement studio dungeon. Once again, we will sit and spin today from Rolling Stone, the 10 worst songs of the 70s. Up next.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.